Mold Squad Restoration, 312-607-8225. You can visit us at www.moldsquadusa. We're a full service restoration and contracting service for the Chicagoland area, Will County area, Grundy County area, Lake County area, McHenry County area. So we basically cover probably like about 100 mile to 120 mile radius from Chicago. We're actually out of Will County ourselves, so if you're familiar with Illinois, we're from Will County, Joliet area, Wilmington area, stuff, suburbs like that. But here we are today in a project in Grundy County. So Grundy County, to be specific, we are in Braceville, Illinois. These houses out here are, they're a little bit, it's a little bit of country out here, so it's, not a problem. That's pretty cool. Different style of living out here. But anyways, just because you're out here doesn't mean that you're not going to escape any mold or any water damage or any rotted, framing or whatever, or structural members that, do from water damage or mold damage. So as you can see, this whole entire house has been demoed and stripped down to the studs, except for some ceilings. Some ceilings were saved. And that was because of the homeowner. We're coming in here to basically replace some rotted joist, sill plates, and rim joists. So that's what we're doing. So as you can see right here, the floor has already been opened up because around the perimeter of the house, I want to say from this window, kitchen area, house still goes a long way, but starting from here all the way around the perimeter of the house, the sill plates are messed up. The sill plates are just out. They're eaten. There's no sill plate anymore. So you can see that. Look at the hole there, where the rim joists are supposed to be. It's just missing. It's just not there. And on the other side of that, it's stucco. So the stucco wall is very fragile, and the stucco wall holds on to the rim joist. When they install it, they put the put the fiber mesh on there, the big wires, sheet of mesh, and then they go ahead and stucco everything. So that mesh is actually screwed on or nailed on onto the rim joist, and right now we have no rim joist, so all that stucco is coming back in. As you can see here's a perfect example of the existing sill plate or rim joist that this used to be. As you can see, look how rotted and eaten up there is. There's little bugs and stuff everywhere. You can see that little guy right there, a silverfish. That's what they call them. They like to live in wet conditions. You'll find those in attics and crawl spaces a lot. We really don't really find them upstairs in the nice living areas. They like to be in like moist places. So this is definitely was a humid very humid property at one point, which probably still is, but it's now we're coming to take care of it and restoring it all back to where it's supposed to be. So here we are, another perfect example of that joist there. I don't really want to walk over there because I'm holding my phone, and guys, I encourage safety first all the time. I'm a professional, and I still try not to walk on these joists because anything can happen. So what we're doing here is, and a lot of people might tell me I'm wrong, in the comments or whatever, but honestly, this is the way we're doing it, and everybody has a way of doing things. So we already started cutting the joists there. We're working in sections that way so the house doesn't basically fall on us, and we're still leaving some supports so it could still hold and support the weight of the house. So we're doing like 3 joists at a time. So as you can see, we already started cutting the joists there. See, there's a temporary support wall up right here with the framing, so you can see it in the crawl space. We had to build that, so we're building that in sections for now, just so we can go ahead and put up these 3 in and move on to the next 3. But we're paying attention very closely to where the framing ends, because we don't want, you just don't want this house falling on you. That's just what we don't want. So as you can see, that's part of the job here. It's going to be 2x10 joist that we're actually not replacing the whole thing to the beam, because that's what you're supposed to. In some cases, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, you see that 3, the 3 the headers. There's 2x10 and there's 3 of them, and it works as a support beam for the house. So that's what the joist is resting on. You can see for this area, you know, it's, you know, it starts here, it's sitting on that, and then it's supposed to sit over there. But how can it, you know, the house cannot sink, or the, you know, the floor won't sink if it's all rotted there. You could see how the wood there, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but I don't, the wood's just resting on the concrete, and it's not even treated lumber that's on the concrete. You're always supposed to put treated lumber. Let me get a good video. You're always supposed to put treated lumber so this won't happen, because water always makes its way somehow, some way into the actual house. You don't want that happening. So, but it's not the homeowners' fault, because they didn't build the house back in the 60s or the 50s, you know. So there it wasn't as regulated. But you know, as the years go by, people usually update their house, but this house was never updated. As you can see, you know, the home, you know, it was mold here at one point. And look at the crawl space. There's all kinds of bugs in there, but you can see how probably about 16 inches from the gravel up, you can see a water line there. And you know, that means that this house was humid for a while, with a lake, you know, an 1,800 square foot lake in the crawl space. So imagine all that moisture, you know, all that moisture caused all these floors to warp. And you know, first of all, these plywood sheets are supposed to be 3/4 inch, you know, which is code. But back in the day, they didn't enforce that code, so it's basically almost like, what is it? It's almost it's half an inch, probably a little bit, you know, probably be the 16th mark after the half inch. We always call that half strong, you know. If it's before the half inch mark, we call it shy. If it's after the half inch mark, we call it strong. So you know, these are like about a half an inch strong. You know, they're not even 3/4, you know, not even 5/8. So that's why it causes it to warp. And as you go up in the house, you feel all the warpiness all throughout the floors. But anyways, the homeowner will take care of that. We're just taking care of this stuff here, that so it doesn't, you know, fall on him while he's working. But here's another perfect example of, look, you can see the light coming in. You can see that light coming in, and it's just ridiculous. It's just rotted. It's just all kinds of bugs in there. It looks like almost termite damage, but it's not. It's not termite damage. It's water damage. This is what water can do to your home. And you know, this house sat for a long time, and I guess the old homeowners sold it because they're like, you know what, it's too much money to fix. We'll just get another house. You know, this, we don't want this major construction. Where are we gonna live? So they sold the house as is, probably, or it got foreclosed, one of the two. But as you can see back here, there's a pool. So a pool existed here at one point, and you know, all the pitch to the, you know, all the water is basically any water that falls out of that pool, or say for example there's a crack in the pool, because I believe they just bought this house as a, you know, maybe a short sale foreclosure. But check it out, look at the pools right here, look at the house. The new homeowner already kind of broke up all the concrete. You can see that concrete here that used to be here, but now there's no more concrete. Why? Because he's gonna go ahead and repitch this really nice. And not only that, he was telling me that the concrete is too high. It was sitting too high. So you're not supposed to have it like that. The house is actually, you know, you're supposed to, you know, almost, you know, be at the bottom. You're not supposed to be that high, because water is gonna basically form and seep into the house there. There's no membrane there. So of course the water is gonna come in, because there's no kind of waterproofing membrane. So you could just see how everything pitches this way, and it just destroyed the home. It just destroyed it 100%. But here we are to restore it. We're called Mold Squad Restoration and Contracting for a reason, because we you know, we do all kinds of work. If you guys follow my videos, you guys would see that you know, this is basically similar to the one we were doing in Seneca, or Marcel's, the one I labeled it. This is pretty similar to that, and then you guys could see that one came out pretty nice. That one came out really nice. It looked just like this. See the joist, no drywall. You guys see how mold everywhere, and basically we made that look so good. And I put in like 3 videos to show the progress of that house, and you guys seen for yourselves, it came out almost perfect. Look, you wouldn't even tell it was that like that. So and in our second project, we have to, once we finish all this big stuff, we have to go ahead and knock down this load bearing wall. You know, obviously you gotta put 2 support beams on each side, and then remove it, and then put in your LVL beam. But we'll get to that when we get to that. I'll put another video of that load bearing wall removal, and that way you guys can kind of see for yourselves what needs to be done. So this is Jay, Mold Squad Restoration, 312-607-8225. You can visit us at our website at www.molesquadusa.com. Other than that, call us for a free estimate. Like I said, we handle all, everywhere. We basically go everywhere. As long as we're busy, we go anywhere and everywhere the customer's home. Oh, I apologize for that stuff on the screen. My glove was in the way, but yeah. Mole Squad Restoration, 312-607-8225. Thank you. Have a nice day. Like that, hit that subscribe button.